government's ambitious odd-even car rationing scheme has drawn to a close. The first fortnight of 2016 has seen the emergence of a scheme that is designed, it is said, to curb pollution. But has this scheme really been a game changer which can be emulated across this country, or has it been a gimmick of the Aam Aadmi Party? That's the big question. The odd-even report card is here being discussed today on India Today TV. Four special guests are joining me on this program. Let me introduce them because they will be telling us where they stand on this issue. Anuradha Shukla is Chief Scientist with the Road Research Institute of this country, so she will give us her perspective. Justice Markanday Katju is former Judge of the Supreme Court and has a very strong view on this odd-even scheme. Ashutosh, Aam Aadmi Party leader and someone who will no doubt be supporting this scheme of his government. And Anumita Roy Chaudhary is from the Center for Science and Environment. Please give them a very big hand, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start this program by asking this wonderful audience, do you believe that the odd-even car scheme has been a success? क्या ये सफल हुई है या नहीं? जिनको लगता है सफल हुई है, who think it's success? Please raise your hands. That's about 80% believe it has been a success. How many believe it should be repeated in the same way through the year? साल भर होनी चाहिए. 6 months. 6 months? No. Only sometimes. Okay. Only sometimes. Interesting. So the audience seems to support the idea of the scheme but doesn't seem to be entirely in favor of the scheme in its same form being replicated through the year. That's a good way to start this with Ashutosh. Ashutosh, the point I made, is this a gimmick or a game changer? People are happy with it, but people don't want to continue with it in the same way.
See, Rajdeep, firstly, I do not agree with you when you started saying that it's a controversial. I think this is the one issue which has shown tremendous amount of consensus on a particular issue. You see Supreme Court and the High Court, they are in sync with us. The government is in sync with us. Public overwhelming support you just have seen. When the media has also overwhelming supported. This is one issue which has galvanized everybody. That's a point number one.
No, they're supporting it, but they don't want it in the same form through the year. So there is still some doubt in it.
No, because I respect what they are saying. Because odd and even word over is just an emergency measure. It's an emergency provision. What needs to be done? Firstly, it has set in a debate across India that pollution is dangerous. It has to be curbed. In that sense, it's a major success. Second point is, odd and even will not automatically pull down the pollution to the drastic level. There are other things which needed to be done. Like the public transport has to be improved tremendously. It will not improve in a 6 months time. It will take time, but there are efforts to do that. The construction linked pollution has to be curbed. That's a major thing which needed to be done. Then in the neighboring states, when the crops are burned, this creates a lot of pollution in Delhi also. That also needed to be done. So it's not just odd and even. The perception is, the myth that odd and even will make Delhi pollution free. That is not
the myth was created by Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party said odd even scheme will bring down pollution levels. The report card so far is mixed. In some areas, pollution has come down. In other areas, it's remained the same. In some areas, it's gone up.
The first day when the cabinet has decided, odd even was one of the 13 measures which has been taken by the government. Secondly,
so there will be 12 more that will be taken through the year.
12 measures are already on the roll. It's already on the roll. I think how many of you have noticed that metro contractors has been punished, has been levied a fine of 50,000 for this construction link spreading these small SPM particles, that dust and everything. What I'm saying is, look at the gains. One, there is a consensus on the particular issue that the pollution is dangerous. Secondly, there is a major congestion relief on the road. Thirdly, the 40% diesel and the petrol purchase has gone down. Fourthly, the 30% the driving on the road has come down. 35% inhaling of pollution has also come down, because when you are driving on the road for 1 hour in a congestion and you are driving at 35 minutes, so you are saving that 25 minutes for yourself. I'm again saying odd and even is not a permanent solution, but yes, it has set the ball rolling, and I think this is the most important development.
It has set the ball rolling, Katju Saab, then why are you so against it? You have been calling it a gimmick from day one. Ashutosh is saying it has set the ball rolling. It has created a debate among people, at least, that pollution is something which needs to be looked at seriously.
Now, before I answer the question, please give me a minute to explain the background.
Your 60 seconds starts now.
Right. Now, see, Aam Aadmi Party had got a landslide victory in February last year because people were disgusted with the prevailing politics and they wanted a radical change. And Mr. Kejriwal was projected as an epitome of honesty, a modern Moses, a messiah who will lead the people of Delhi and perhaps the whole country into a land of milk and honey. So they voted en masse for him. After that, people have seen through the reality. He allotted 536 crores for self-promoting advertisements and raised salaries of his MLAs and ousted those who dissented from him and surrounded himself with chamchas and so on. His popularity kept slipping. Because really there's nothing in the man. He has no solution to the real problems of the people, which are poverty, unemployment, malnourishment, health care, price rise. He has no idea how to solve
Pollution. Our debate, sir, is on pollution.
No, I'll come to
Our
pollution.
debate is not your problem with Kejriwal.
All right, I'll come to pollution. Firstly, the figures I have is that pollution level has not significantly gone down. In fact, the IIT Kanpur report says that only 1 or 2% of the air pollution is due to car pollution. The 98% are due to other factors. As regards reduction of traffic, people were scared of driving on the wrong day out of fear of this 2,000 rupees challan. It's a hefty amount. So they thought this 15 days nonsense, let us put up with it. It is because you know, a lawyer.
15-day nonsense, you are saying.
Yes, I'll tell you why.
डर, sir, 15-day nonsense, but डर है तो अच्छा है, sir. 2,000 रुपए चलान हो गया, डर तो हो गया कम से
that's
कम.
not true. You are not right. A lawyer has to go to court every day. He cannot go to court only on odd days or even days. A doctor, a professional, an office goer, a shopkeeper, he can't go only on office. And to say go by metro, have you any idea? You must have been to London or Paris or New York. Within 5 or 10 minutes walk of any place, there is a metro station. Here, from many places, you have to take a taxi to reach the metro. And the metros are all overcrowded. Have you any idea what it means to get into a metro?
Do you all agree? Metros are overcrowded.
No, it's a pure stunt.
It's a pure stunt.
This man, Kejriwal, is a pure stunt man. He has no, unfortunately, I said, unfortunately, most people of the country are gullible, emotional fools. They get carried away कि एक सपनों का सौदागर आ गया, अरे अब तुमको नदियां बहेंगी, शहद और टूट की, हा 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 करके
एक मिनट. It's interesting the audience which is clapping what you are saying is the same audience which has also said at the start that they like the scheme.
Exactly.
So, it's an interesting, I just want to bring in Ashutosh very quickly before I bring in my other guests. Is Mr. Kajju in a sense reflecting one viewpoint? One viewpoint is that the Aam Aadmi Party does this for publicity. That you don't actually want to create an institution that will curb pollution. You want something that will get you headlines.
See, I don't want to criticize what Mr. Kajju has said because
and now you can criticize him. He's a former judge.
He has been somebody who's from Allahabad, so I also have a relationship in that sense. So I respect him in that sense. If he has something personal against Arvind Kejriwal, I have nothing to comment on that.
I have nothing.
I'm the one.
I don't know him.
I thought
I've never met him.
No.
I don't know him. I've never sought anything from him.
1 minute, sir, one by one. Yes.
Why do you say personal?
I'm saying this. We are here to debate odd and even. We are ready to debate that. I am the one who has been on a daily basis. I travel in the metro and I enjoy traveling. Somebody who has never traveled in the metro do not know what the metro is all about. I travel in New York in a metro. I travel in London in the metro. I travel in the Paris in the metro. Metro everywhere is crowded on the peak time. I can tell you.
At the moment, it's overcrowded. For the last fortnight, it was overcrowded. I'm not saying that that traveling by metro is not a joy.
You come along with me, and I can tell you. When even there is no odd and even, the metro is overcrowded on,
yes, it is.
on the peak time. In fact, the people have learned to manage their time. People have learned to manage their affairs. And it has brought a kind of a discipline. I can only tell you, and we've been very frank from the day one, that odd even is just an emergency provision. It's not a permanent solution. That's what I'm saying. If Mr. Kajju has to criticize, abuse Arvind Kejriwal, India is a free democracy, he can do it. But we have to rationally think this is one policy in India where there is a policy formulation and there is successful policy implementation. Even Supreme Court has appreciated, even the Delhi High Court has appreciated, and the people have overwhelmingly appreciated. So if he has something personal, he is welcome to have that.
May I respond?
Yeah, quick response.
I have nothing personal. I do not know Mr. Kejriwal. I have never met him. I have not sought any favor from
So
him.
have you ever traveled in metro, sir?
I have traveled, yes.
When, sir?
Are you? No, am I here to be cross-examined by you?
No.
Behave yourself, Mr. Ashutosh. You are much younger to me. आप मुझसे छोटे हैं.
Sir,
Behave करिए थोड़ा. आप मैं क्यों बताऊं कब travel किया?
Kajju ji, have you travelled by metro? Is a
Yes,
valid
I
question.
have answered it. Yes.
No, did you find it overcrowded?
I found it crowded. Yes.
But do you believe that isn't that the future? Isn't it
Listen,
enhancing the quality of public transport the future?
See, if you can considerably increase the number of metros, but that will take a lot of time. It can't be done in a rush. Where is the money for it? You have to build the metros. It takes hundreds of thousands of crores.
Sir, can I just come back though to the central issue?
Rajiv, I'll just say 20 seconds. You must have traveled in New York in a metro. Metro is overcrowded in New York. And you have to walk 3 to 4 miles on a daily basis. That's a reality. People are creating a myth that in Delhi,
the reality, Ashutosh, is also that in Delhi has more cars than any other city in the country.
I agree.
That every Delhiite wants to buy a car, whether it is out of prestige value. Today, odd even scheme, there are people who want a car with odd number plate and even number plate. That is also a reality. That today, if you increase the scheme across the year, people will buy more cars in Delhi.
Not many
can
afford. Rajdip, again, that is the submission when odd and even is a permanent solution. When odd and even is not a permanent solution, there are other 12 things which needed to be done. And the government of Delhi is duty bound to do that.
You're committed to those other 12?
Oh yes, 100%.
Okay, because are you, for example, committed to ensuring that two-wheelers and autos, which are often the most polluting, will also be subject to some kind of scrutiny? Will you also ensure that in some way you disincentivize people from buying cars which are seen to be polluting?
If you give me time, I can tell you that in Singapore, there is a license, there is a permit. If you want to buy a car, you have to buy the permit. Sometimes
will you do that in Delhi?
The permit of a car is costlier than the car itself.
Will you do that in Delhi?
I'm saying there are too many things which needed to be studied and needed to be analyzed and then put into the operation. It's that simple.
So you don't think you went into this in haste?
No, we did not.
You thought about it.
Rajdeep, 3 months back, free car day was initiated in Delhi. Okay. If it has been in haste, we wouldn't have been doing this. The only thing is that Delhi High Court, when said that Delhi has has turned into a gas chamber, then we rather hastened the process.
Okay, that's so Mr. Kajju believes it's a stunt which has been pulled off in haste. You believe that it's part of a well thought out, rolled out plan. But I want to get exact figures from the experts. Anuvita, is there a sense that pollution has actually come down? This was not meant to be a traffic decongestion scheme in the first place. It was meant to bring down pollution. Traffic decongestion was a byproduct at best. Do you believe that pollution has come down? Is there any hard evidence to suggest that there has been a positive impact on pollution levels?
We have looked very clearly at the real-time data the Delhi Pollution Control Committee has generated for the entire winter this year. And it's very clear that if you plot the graph, that we have seen many peak levels when the levels have gone to horrendous level during November and December. First week of January, the first week of odd and even during that period of time, the pollution had peaked, but that was also the time when you had very bad weather condition with temperature dipping, no wind and western disturbance. Pollution levels in the city should have been much higher. But what we have found that the peaking of the pollution level has been much lower than the peaks during November and December when weather was much better. So there is an evidence to suggest that if you remove vehicles from the road, you will reduce pollution and exposure. And understand the emergency not from the perspective of just pollution levels, but in a city where there is a death per hour due to air pollution related diseases and lungs of every third child is impaired. And that is a kind of emergency response we need, but this could have been much better if we had seen more stringency in the action.
More stringency
Absolutely.
in the action. I'm going to come to that action in a moment, but there is, Mr. Kajju, you're smiling as always. You're skeptical. She's a professional who's saying that evidence does show, there is some evidence at least, to show that fewer cars on road have a positive impact
Let us all
on
go-
your health, on your lungs, Kaju
Let us
Saab.
all go on Belgadis from tomorrow, abolish all cars. Yes, 1 minute. He operates, his modus operandi is, Mr. Kejriwal, he begins one stunt. Initially there's cheering, ha ha ha, जैसे रोमन मॉब ने जूलियस सीजर का शेक्सपियर का जूलियस सीजर पढ़ लीजिएगा, रोमन मॉब आई सीजर को कंडेम करने लगे, और जहां मार्क एंटनी ने एक शॉर्ट स्पीच दी वहां वो सीजर के फेवर में हो गए. So people's opinion is fickle. People's minds are fickle. Those who are cheering today will be jeering afterward. So after some time
I'm
when he
going to
knows
the hard figures. I want to focus on the hard figures.
hard figures are, I've got the report of BBC, I've got the report of IIT Kanpur, I've got the report of Hindu. They say, देखिए विंड के वजह से थोड़ा पोल्यूशन कम हो गया होगा. It's nothing to do with the cars.
Nothing to do with the cars. Is that true? No,
Weather
let me get the
conditions,
expert.
well-
You're not the
The
expert,
moment
sir,
you
on
are
this.
removing the vehicles, it's a no-brainer that the pollution levels and exposure from the vehicles have gone down. There is evidence that
But that's only 9%, isn't it? Vehicular pollution accounts for only 9% of the
not
total
really.
pollution.
IIT Delhi has shown that vehicular pollution is the second largest pollution cause in the city after road dust if you take particulate matter. So it is one of the dominant sources.
But
and
road-
don't get lost in that 20%, 30%. If 20% is from vehicles, then trash burning is also 12%. Industry and power plant is 11%, much lower than vehicles.
Can I bring in Anuradha on that point?
I would like to take few seconds
Yes.
to explain it. Actually, what happens when from the vehicles the polluter exhaust is coming out at breathing level, it is at the down. So it is coming out, it mixes with the environment and ambient environment where all the sources are contributing, that is ambient environment. So what happens is when there are fewer number of cars, obviously volume of exhaust reduces. But then as per our study, like transport is contributing towards 20 to 25% for PM 2.5 if I talk of. So it is, as she said, second largest pollutant. But then cars, they are contributing 4.8%, trucks 9%. So 4.8% out of 25%. And then if we reduce 15% of the cars volume due to odd and even, so at ambient level, it will hardly make 1% difference.
Only a 1%
But
difference.
Yes, so
But
Only a
at
it's really
1%
ambient
different
difference.
level,
to
I'm
understand
talking
pollution.
of
No.
ambient level, but roadside, yes, because the volume of traffic decreases, so
So it's a
exhaust
marginal. So you're saying
decreases.
it'll have a marginal impact at best.
Yes.
A marginal
At
impact.
the
I think that is
roadside,
not
but
the
ambient
way.
level, it will be not more than 1%.
Not more than
In a
1%. Quick response.
100% pie,
Yes.
if you take 10 pollution sources, each pie slice is going to become small. But you need to take action on each one of them. We cannot hide behind other pollution sources, and cars are part of the problem.
No, I agree with you, but I'm wondering whether Aam Aadmi Party has gone to the soft target. You will not touch the two-wheelers because that is your constituency. You will not touch the auto wala because that is your constituency. You will not touch the construction sites because that requires long-term agenda. You will not touch the trucks who continue to ply every night across the city, passing off noxious fumes. You have wallas like me. हमको तुमने परेशान कर दिया.
I'm also a car wala.
You are also a car
I'm also
wala.
a car wala.
Yeah, Aam
See,
Aadmi.
Rajiv,
I am also
Rajiv,
an
there
Aam
is a-
Aadmi.
See, there is what you are saying. There's a fair point. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, what has been the biggest problem in this country since our independence? The biggest problem is the beautiful policy articulation, wonderful policies. But where is the implementation? You take the example of Swachh Bharat. You take the example of Digital India. You take the example of Make in India. What happened to them? They were announced with such fanfare. Thousands of crores were spent on the advertisement. Where's the implementation? This is first policy in India which has taken everything in consideration to create a public consciousness, implement it successfully so that he can...
He's saying it's under the force of the challan.
Sir.
The fear of the challan is what has made people. Let me ask the people. Let me ask people why. How many of these people have observed? How many of you have observed this odd-even scheme? How many of you made sure that you observed it properly? Did you do it out of fear? डर की वजह से किया?
Most probably.
Out of डर के कारण से? Out of fear?
Yes,
Out of fear, or because you believe that it is good for public health? Out of fear or because it is good for public health, madam?
for the public health.
You did it for
Yes.
public health? Ashutosh, you are seeing many people are saying fear. This lady says public health.
Say, Rajdeep, if fear has been instrumental, that every law in this country would have been implemented. There's a capital punishment for the heinous crimes, but capital punishment keep happening. The point is, if you take people's confidence, and that is why this scheme is such a huge success, because people believe in this is for them, because the people believe in this is for their own health, this is for their own kids' health, this is for the next generation. If we decide to drive on a car and forgetting that this is affecting me, we can be killed.
But they are saying
have to
fear.
make small
Let
sacrifices.
me get this sorted. You are saying that the public has endorsed this scheme because they believe it is for the future, for better health. Some people are saying it is out of fear. Is it out of fear or public health? Are you saying that agar chalan nahi hota to you would have gone ahead and done
this
it?
was a good concept, but most of the people doing this because they had a fear of rupees 2,000 chalan rupees. That's it.
That because of 2,000 chalan rupees. So, Kajju Sahab, there is the fear, but what is wrong if there is fear? Chalo, let us look at it the other way. For much too long in our society, nobody fears the law. If it has taken the odd even scheme to get Delhiites to fear the law, अच्छी बात है. You are a law, you are a judge.
May I answer?
Yes.
15 दिन तक ये नॉनसेंस तो जनता ने सोचा भैया बर्दाश्त कर लेंगे, 2,000 रुपए हम नहीं देना चाहते हैं. अगर ये 15 दिन से आगे बढ़ता, ऐसा revolt, there would have been such hatred against the scheme, क्योंकि
Your Supreme Court is saying,
Arey-
let us extend the scheme further.
May I answer that?
Yes.
I have, see, with due respect to Supreme Court and High Court, first of all, this is not the domain of the judiciary. They should not talk like this. I disapprove of judges speaking like this on an issue which is not a judicial issue, it is an executive issue. There is separation
You are
of
saying that judges should not get into the issue of pollution.
No, not at, see, this is an executive issue. ना हर चीज में judiciary दखल करेगी, ये करो, वो करो. I have given a judgment, Divisional Manager Aravali Golf Course versus Chandar Haas, where I have said the judges should not behave like emperors. They should know their limits. Please read the judgment. It is available online.
Yes.
हर चीज में judiciary को नहीं
But let's come to the fear factor. What is wrong if it is fear which is leading
I
people?
answer
Yes.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any pollution control effort depends on two instruments, incentive and disincentive, right? Today, because of for pollution control, a farmer in Punjab can be imprisoned under the Air Act for burning paddy straw. A poor person in Delhi can be fined 5,000 rupees for burning trash. There is no such disincentive for car users so far. Today, trucks are paying environment compensation charge. So this notion that we are not touching other sources and only the bichara carwalas are being targeted, it's absolutely wrong. In fact, the carwalas have been allowed to go scot-free and not own up to the pollution problems
So you're saying it's time to stop treating cars as
Take
bichara.
away all hidden subsidy from the car owners. Make them pay the right price for using public space for parking. Make them pay for using the road space. That's the way to disincentivize the wrong way of commuting in this city and opting for the right
Let me
commuting
ask this
practices.
audience. How many of you would like to travel by metro? How many of you travel by metro, like to travel by metro? Every day? Tell me what your experience. Do you like the idea? You have a mic? Give a mic to this boy. Do you like the idea of traveling by metro, and do you believe that more people should travel by metro and we should have fewer cars?
I believe that we should travel by metro, and it is a very good means of transport. But as far as the public transport is concerned, as sir is saying that they are supporting public transport, let me, sir, put across to you. In today's time, if I because of this odd even, I am not traveling by car. I prefer public transport. One of the major problems that I face is the auto walas. They don't have their meters installed. They are not ready to go, and
they charge you more.
They charge you more, and at the time, let's say if I have to go from Rohini to Ghaziabad, I start 7 o'clock in the morning. There are no public transport available that time.
So if you had better public transport, all of you would travel by public transport instead of car, right? What you are asking for is more metro trains, more buses, better public transport. That is the critical question. It's coming down to that. If Ashutosh or your party provided better public transport and then you had an odd even scheme, everybody would appreciate it, right? So first give me the buses, first give me the metro trains, and then we are ready to give up our cars.
See, Rajdeep,
I am ready to give up car and travel by metro if you give me better metro services. Simple.
you and I know that if we wait for that thing to happen, pollution level would have gone to such level. And we are in the government for the last 10 months. So if it's not that again I'm repeating, it's not that this odd even is the only solution. We are in the
But
process
the first solution is public transport.
No, Rajdeep, Rajib, I'm again saying, please do not trivialize this. The fact is that on a daily basis, the metro services is getting improved. We are getting into the new areas. The buses are in the process of being increased from 7,000 to 10,000. We are also employing the vacuum cleaning mobile machines from the 1st of April. That will be again will be there.
So you're saying that things will get better. You're saying
Certainly
things will get better as far as public transport.
It's a question of creating physical infrastructure that will take time. It will not happen 2 months' time or 3 months' time. Let this government be given 2 years' time, and I can tell you that by 2 years down the line, the public transport system will be much better.
You know, Mr. Karju, these are all unique ways. Delhi has never thought about these things. At least appreciate the fact that this is at least part of the public debate now. Carpooling, improving public transport. Is that not a good sign? Is that not a positive sign? Or is that also part of this nonsense?
I'm sorry, I cannot approve of stunts. I'm a very bad man that I cannot approve of
No,
gimmick.
sir, you are not a bad man.
Let us not go into that because I know what you called me once. However, let that be.
Yes.
I cannot approve of stunts and gimmicks. Mr. Kejriwal is superior to any other Indian politician so far as stunts is concerned. He has crossed all limits. All other. That's your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. Surely.
Bataiye. No, but the point, Mr. Karju,
Yes.
is that at least a public debate has started. At least people are talking about this issue. For years also, people were not even talking about this issue.
All right, you are entitled to talk.
Yes.
But this is no solution. The solution would have been that Mr. Kejriwal should have involved the central government. He should have involved the people of neighboring states because it is said pollution from fodder is coming from neighboring states. He should involve large number of people of Delhi and had a long discussion, a wide-scale public discussion by among people of Delhi. Then some consensus would have emerged. All these, knee-jerk reaction stunts, it will do nothing. All right, you keep applauding it. I know today you people are applauding it. 15 दिन तक बर्दाश्त कर ली ना. अगर ये 3 महीने चलता जो आप तारीफ कर रहे हैं, ये 3 महीने के बाद गालियां देने लगते हैं.
You know, the fact is, Anumita, these are all real questions. I suddenly hear that the Delhi government is planning to bring cycle tracks across Delhi. यहाँ चलने के लिए जगह नहीं है और cycle tracks आएंगे. You know, that is my worry.
Yes, very true. I think the big lesson from this fortnight is the
Yes.
moment you reduced volume of traffic on the road, you made all forms of modes, including public transport, much more efficient. Buses, autos, taxis, they have been able to do more trips, more kilometer, carry more people. Now, this is the lesson. Now, you have forced this with an odd and even scheme.
Taxis are charging me more, autos are
No, that
charging
should
me
be
more.
regulated. Absolutely.
School buses are off the road at the moment because the schools were
So that's
off.
what I'm saying. So the lesson is that right now we have forced the situation with an odd and even scheme. But how do we sustain the gains with a more systemic solution? That is the biggest question that the
Does
city
that
needs to
include
ask.
cycle tracks?
Absolutely. Cycle tracks, safe walking, access to public transport, restraints on car usage.
Let me ask, if there were cycle tracks, how many of you would cycle to work? Nobody. Nobody. You see, the problem is that there are practical difficulties. There are practical difficulties in a city like Delhi of a cycle track. There is no space. The
Rajdeep,
distances are very long.
Rajdeep, you must have been to Shanghai, Beijing and the New York.
Yes.
Is there any cycle track there? No.
No, I haven't seen one.
No. So the fact is, we are creating myths and busting those myths. The point is, if we walk 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers a day from one distance to another, I get down to the Pragati Maidan and walk 2 kilometers, go to the Manish Sisodia's house, I feel happy and better. The point is, we have to get out of that mindset that the car is the only vehicle available.
She wants to respond to that. Yes.
We don't have such time to do all these things.
You don't have time to walk?
No, ma'am, it's a time management.
All the time.
You go
cannot,
again. I'll go back to New York. People are walking there. People are walking 5 to 6 kilometers on a daily basis.
One minute.
We have to get into that mindset.
Ashutosh is saying, why don't you walk to work? Why don't you walk 2 kilometers?
2 kilometers.
Okay,
What?
sir,
No,
you
no, no,
might
I'm
be feeling
saying-
good
One minute,
doing
let
that
her-
every day, but doing that every day for everybody is not possible.
need to build
Someday I might be very tired. I might not feel like walking 2 kilometers.
I can tell you, there will never be a situation where the last mile connectivity will be zero. There will never be a situation like that. what I'm trying to tell you that yes, the government knows that the public transport system has to be improved massively. That's a given thing.
I think the question, Ashutosh, it is coming, what comes first? Should the public transport system improvement come first and then have schemes like odd and even, or should odd and even come first and then? I think that is the basic debate here. That is the basic, right?
See,
so I think what the public here is saying is if the Aam Aadmi Party government improve the quality of public transport, said for the next 12 months, we will improve the quality of public transport, then I think people are more ready to embrace the odd even scheme even right
But
through the
Rajdeep,
year.
we cannot make this a chicken and egg problem right now. As I said, he can buy 10,000 more buses. But if your streets are congested and buses cannot move, none of us are going to move to buses.
So you're saying
you
that
need to
you're
restrain
saying
cars.
both have to start
Both
at
have
the
to start
same time.
together. Yes.
They have to start at the same time. Mr.
Absolutely.
Karju, that there is some argument which has to be made that somewhere people have to sacrifice in some way, have to change the way they live their lives if you are going to provide for the future. You cannot continue in this manner, that is clear.
I'm saying you improve public transport. In London, in many places, people, ministers, high court judges go on the metro. You improve.
तो आप भी जाइए.
मैं भी चाहूंगा आप improve तो
जाइए,
करिए.
sir.
नहीं मैं ये लंदन नहीं है ना.
Justice
The problem
Karju.
is 1 minute. Let me complete.
Yes.
See, I say then you not only odd even, you abolish cars in large parts of Delhi. Don't just have metros. Wonderful metros like in London or Paris or New York. You don't need cars. I tell you, high court judges, I met them in London.
They are saying they will do it in the future. You don't trust
अरे
them.
फ्यूचर ये तो सपना ये सपनों के सौदागर हैं ये सपना बेचते हैं आम आदमी पार्टी या सपनों के सौदागर और बेच दिया
अरे
आप
अच्छी
लोग
बात
खरीदार है ना
सर अच्छी बात
यू लाइक टू बाय सपना ड्रीम्स
सर एक मिनट सर कम से कम एक बात तो अच्छी है कि कोई सपना तो दिखा रहा
हाँ,
है
सपना
अच्छी बात है
देखिए।
in our society at least someone is showing a dream of a
But
better
Rajdeep,
future.
just keep one point in mind.
yes.
London has reduced car volume by imposing congestion charge and freeing up roads for the buses to move.
Right.
That is the principle that we have to keep in mind. So London has not been able to bring efficient bus service without restraining cars in
So
central
you're
London.
saying a congestion charge,
Absolutely.
a tax.
Yes.
Are you ready for that?
Oh yes, 100%.
Or a parking
Rajdeep,
charge. Or a parking
Rajdeep,
charge.
what she's talking about London. London has.
Are you ready to put a
I'm
congestion tax?
London has gained £2 billion just by increasing the parking charges there from £5 to £10 per hour. I think these are the several measures which needed to, and I can tell you the example of Athens also. In Athens, they have divided the city into the inner zone and the outer zone. And when there is an emergency, they announce.
So do that. Try these new innovative schemes.
Rajdeep, firstly, we have taken people in confidence. We have realized it is implementable. And after this, there will be analysis of the entire 15 days and then a better system will be put in place. It's as why we are in a hurry.
Okay. Welcome back to the Odd Even Report Card here on India Today TV. The government of Delhi has completed its 15-day experiment with the odd even car rationing scheme. Has it been a game changer or a gimmick? We are debating that and now raising the question, what are the fresh ideas that we can bring to actually reduce pollution, which is the key. Yes, this man had a point. Yes.
Actually, we are all talking about congestion charges and parking spaces and everything. Every part of the world is actually talking about alternate fuels. Why something like that has not been in discussion in India?
So you're saying there should be alternate fuels?
Yeah, why not?
I think
Anumita, why is
Delhi
there
has
no...
set the example of the alternate fuels. CNG is a revolution in this city. And with that, we have made a huge difference to the quality of air. But we need to take it forward. We need to clean up all our fuels. And that's the reason why we need to leapfrog to Euro 6 emission standards.
But that doesn't
as
happen.
quickly as
Look at the
possible.
trucks. Look at the trucks that
Yes,
are flying Delhi's roads.
absolutely.
Ashutosh is not, his party does nothing against the truck walas. You don't nothing against the auto wala क्योंकि वो तो आपके वोट है. जो आपके वोट है उसको आप touch नहीं करते हो. That is the problem.
If we had been scared of vote bank politics, we wouldn't have done it because everybody had advised us, you are going to make middle class angry. Please don't do this.
But
We
are
said
we
no.
all ready therefore to move towards cleaner fuel? You need to incentivize people to move to cleaner fuel.
I think my brother has missed today's newspaper. Government is thinking about the biofuels. And we are in the process. See, again I tell you, there are too many things which I can't reveal right now. But we are working on a very holistic project.
So you're saying it's holistic. He's Justice Karju says it's a stunt. But Sadaji, आपका कोई question था?
Sir,
जल्दी.
even the
My question is
statements are-
to Mr. Kazu. Sir,
Yes.
with due respect and regard, I would like to ask you that if we say no to odd and even, then what should be done in the present scenario instantly to curb the pollution in Delhi? Because it is the most polluted city, and then people are dying here of cancer and respiratory disease.
So you are worried about your children?
Yeah, definitely,
You're
101%.
all worried about the future of your children? Yes. So you see, Justice Karju, I don't know, I'm sure you are worried also about your grandchildren and their future and their health and their lungs. You should, I mean, he wants to know if you are going to only criticize, please give an alternative.
Yes, I'm giving alternatives.
What is your alternative, sir?
Two alternatives.
Yes.
Number one, what should have been done would have been to hold very wide consultations, including the central government. You know, now you have gone at loggerheads with the central government and antagonized the central government. You have to take them along. You have to take along governments of neighboring states like Haryana.
Okay, that's one point. What is your second point?
Second point is this. As you correctly said, you see, if you have excellent metro station, I went to London, many times I've been there, I met high court judges, ministers, most of them travel by the metro, it's called the
So
tube. there.
you seem to be very enamored by London. आपको लंदन की हवा बहुत अच्छी लगती
Go
है.
anywhere, Paris and all, you know, excellent metro station, they don't, you, in Oxford Street, you
So
will
you're
hardly
saying better, more metro stations.
see in Oxford Street.
You're saying better, more metro stations.
Much
but
better.
all of that will take time. The question is, what about now? The emergency measure.
What now I'm saying is they should have had very wide consultation.
Wide consultation.
Got everybody aboard, not just going all alone, antagonizing the central government, antagonizing others.
Ashutosh, the charge which is being made
I
is
do
Aam
not-
Admi Party is doing this without involving anyone
with
else.
all
The
due
other
res-
stakeholders.
With all due respect to Justice Karju, he's factually wrong. We are in sync and we are in touch with Gadkari and we have getting great support. We have written a letter to the Prime Minister seeking his support. Delhi Police is supporting us, the traffic is supporting us. We have more than 6 rounds of meeting with the Delhi Police. And after wider consultation, I can cite one example. On 14th of last month, there was a meeting and bureaucrats said, please finalize all the things. Chief Minister said, no, let the debate continue. And everybody said, you are taking in the last minute kind of a thing. On 26th, when all the suggestions came in, we just analyzed each suggestion and then added a few.
Okay, so you're saying there has been consensus. Yes, yes.
First of all, the suggestions that Justice Karju gave, they more seem to be like the stunt that he's talking about. What steps that had been taken has actually shown results. So actually, for us, what extra that political party can do is create a public consensus that every person should try to feel that he should do something more than what just the government is
Like
asking.
what?
Like, for example, you can see there is a lot of open space and the dust rises from this open space because this is an arid place. You can plant grass over there, you can plant trees, and that is going to save a problem not only today but for the years to come.
So you're saying plant trees.
Absolutely.
Everyone should plant trees. Yes, yes. Yeah, put your, yes.
You cannot plant trees in the construction area. That is a separate issue.
Okay, the point there, yes.
Actually, what the basic problem is, they are only aiming the personal vehicles. But as ma'am said, the trucks and the heavy duty vehicles, they are causing more pollution. Why not they aiming those vehicles?
Ma'am, is that clear? Anuradha, that trucks are the main polluters even when it comes to vehicles and light commercial and heavy commercial vehicles?
Yes, I'd say, but then like as controlling, I would suggest that at source we can control like trucks, all types of vehicles. At source we should control pollution by new technologies as well as by maintenance. That is, even a new car, if it is not well maintained, it will pollute more than a car which is older than 15 years.
But you've got to disrupt Delhi's transport systems.
Yeah,
the
so
key is to
maintenance-
disrupt the entire transport
Yes,
system of the
so
city.
it has to be very strictly maintenance of vehicles, then transportation control measures. Like there are congestion hotspots, driving behavior also makes a difference. It creates more pollution. So all those things, like as I said, at source and transportation control measure, both things are to be taken care of together.
Yes.
Can I answer to that
Yes.
gentleman's question? See, there are 3 things which government has already taken initiative. One, Euro 6, which was to be implemented from Jan 2019, has been preponed to Jan 2017. That's a point number 1. And then you are talking about the we are in the process of, in consultation with the Central Road Surface Department, Mr. Gadkari, to create a corridor outside Delhi so that these trucks don't enter into the Delhi unless they are really required. Thirdly, on the first day itself, with odd and even, the entry of the trucks in Delhi has been postponed from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'm saying these are the measures we have taken. We are still saying these are not the substantive measures, but a beginning has been made. The ball has been set on rolling.
You know, the ball has been set rolling is the view that you have. The other view, of course, is before you set any ball rolling, you have to prepare the ground. I think that's what it's coming down to.
The biggest,
you know, it is coming down to that. I think, Justice Karju, would you agree that that is your basic criticism?
Yes.
When you use the word stunt.
Yes.
Maybe that's an unfortunate word, some would say. Some would say that odd and even it has been done in other cities of the world, sir.
You don't even need
odd and even has been done in Beijing. It has been done in
Sao Paulo.
In Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo, Bogota,
it's
Athens.
been done in other cities. So when you say stunt, maybe you're being excessive. What you are saying is prepare an overall architecture within which this can be one scheme.
I'm saying not even odd even. Don't allow cars at all in large parts. If you have got metro stations, people will travel by metro voluntarily. They don't need cars.
So that will take a year or two more.
Yes,
we
do
cannot
it.
wait.
No, start a crash program in
Crash
London.
program to do what?
In Oxford Street. If you go on Oxford Street, you will hardly see any cars. People are all coming by the public transportation. And it's one of the most popular.
Just a minute, yes, quickly.
Basically, the problem that we are saying is Delhi has a good infrastructure or the public transport service. But what the major problem they are here handling is pollution. And every personal vehicle does have a pollution certificate. Then why we are mainly aiming this thing?
No, let me come back to the metro issue. The metro issue is becoming critical, I think. Most cities across India now are setting up metro services. Anumita, is that the solution? That the better quality metro services you're able to set up and incentivize people to travel by metro,
Absolutely.
a lot of these problems will disappear automatically.
But let's keep in mind, even after full implementation of the metro network in the city, metro will still meet only 20% of the travel demand. So which means 80% of the travel demand would have to be met by other modes. Now that means it's only metro is part of the solution, but cannot be the only solution. You need integrated systems, metro, bus, auto, cycle, taxi. All of them will have to be connected with each other in a seamless system.
But that's a long-term agenda. That's a long-term agenda. That's not going to happen overnight.
But then you have to start the process right now by organizing the last mile connectivity. But more important, you also now need to have those other strategies to replace odd and even, like parking restraint measures. If you restrain available legal parking in key commercial areas and price that high, and also introduce residential parking permit, you will see a huge difference.
Give me an
in
example.
car
Give me an
usage.
example when you say parking. Are you saying, suppose I go and park in a marketplace in
You
the
should
center of
not be-
Delhi?
you
How much
should-
should I pay for it?
That will have to be
You're saying
market-driven.
I should pay a much higher amount.
Compute the amount of money that the government spends on building multi-level parking structures, if you recover that cost from parking charges, then you and I should be able to pay at least 50 to 60 rupees per hour.
Are you ready to pay 50 to 60 rupees per hour for parking?
So that is a
Will you pay
subsidy.
50 to 60 rupees per hour?
Rajdeep,
No, then what you do?
Today, a car pays much less in road tax than a bus pays every year. These are the wrong, distorted economic policy which is incentivizing personal vehicle usage and disincentivizing public transport and making public
So
transport
you're
usage
saying
more expensive.
disincentivize someone to take a car into the center of the city with high parking charges.
Okay, now we will shift tracks. We'll just move on from all the political news from the national capital, and let's just talk about a college in Delhi, SRCC. It's a noted college.
So, guys, do you know why he's Kukkara Kamalda? Because he's a Delhi boy. So,
Welcome back. The odd even report card. We are trying to analyze, has the Delhi government's contentious, I won't use the word controversial anymore, contentious scheme on odd car rationing actually worked on the ground? I want to raise one question. Has it worked politically? This girl has a question. Yes, ma'am.
My question to you is,
why this has been started from 1st January to 15 January. Schools are already closed. From as ma'am said, there is only 1% of the changes has been there. Why from 1st January to 15th only? Why not from 15th to 31st? There has been more traffic, more pollution over there. Then you could have a reality check whether this would have.
So you're saying it is not a reality check because the schools are closed?
Yes, sir.
You know,
Schools have been closed by the
Ashutosh, you all were very clever. Aam Aadmi Party, you cannot deny how clever you have been. You closed the schools. You said no school buses. Those school buses will be used for public transport. Therefore, you were able to control the environment. You will not be able to do that 365 days of the year.
Rajdeep, what is the most important thing? Most important thing is the mindset change. Are we ready to change our mind? Are we ready to go to another zone? That's the fundamental question, and on that point, Delhi government has succeeded. When
have we changed our minds? Has the public mind, Janta ki mind change hui hai? Is pollution top of your mind? Yes. Yes or no?
And
yes. It's a divided.
No,
yes.
let me
answer this to her question. One very important point is that globally, when emergency action is taken, schools are shut. The first emergency response to an emergency pollution level is don't allow kids to go out and play.
So you believe that Delhi has reached that emergency state, which is why this emergency measure was required.
It's a number one polluted state in the entire world, in city. I was just trying to tell you about the Singapore model. Singapore, there is a car permit system. There is also a site permit system. There are 32 points has been made in Singapore. If you have to enter in those areas, you have to pay more. That's a way to discourage vehicular movement in the city. There are so many things, like in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo started with once
so you're saying you will do all that? I come back to it. You will do all that. You will do what a Singapore does. You believe Delhi can do what a Singapore does?
What Singapore has done, not necessarily Delhi will do. We have to suit to the local realities of the Delhi, and accordingly the model will be made.
Okay. Let me ask some more questions to this audience. Yes, the gentleman here, take a mic and ask your question. Give him the mic. Yes.
Sir, every Delhiite wants a car, and we know as the per capita income is on rise, more demand is there in the Delhi. So why can't your party can pass a law that these auto manufacturers will make only the cars that work on CNG engine? That will not only solve the safety problem also, because
that's a good question. Along with that, I want to ask this audience: how many of you, कितने लोग इस audience में जो समझते हैं गाड़ी मिल गई तो it is a status symbol? कितने लोग हैं जो गाड़ी चलाते हैं या गाड़ी चाहते हैं? सच बताइए. Does everybody in Delhi want a car or not? Yes, everybody in Delhi wants a car. सबको गाड़ी की जरूरत होती है. Status symbol है. So you see, car is a status symbol, and as this young man puts it, why not put a restriction on all the auto manufacturers? If you are going to produce a car, it has to be pollution friendly.
Yes.
Is that possible? Is that possible?
That's a way forward.
Is that possible, ma'am?
No. I would suggest any carbon-based fuel, if you burn, it is going to pollute. Even CNG we consider green. At that time, pollution was more, but then particulate numbers, fine particulate numbers are higher in CNG. So we have to, alternative fuels, we have to plan for zero emission vehicles like electrical.
Is it possible to start moving towards that? Yes or no?
Yes, there are research going on.
It's possible to move towards cleaner and pollution-free vehicles. We need the roadmap right now. It is absolutely atrocious. No, it's not acceptable that today the automobile industry does not have the next target to improve its vehicle technology and fuel quality.
Right.
Yes, can we have a battery-driven cars? Can we have electricity-driven cars? Can we have a electricity scooters? Replace all the petrol and the diesel kind of things. Just have electricity. These are the things which will not happen in a year's time.
This is about the future. Are you ready to look at a future where people need to think out of the box? Let's give credit to the Aam Aadmi Party for one thing. They have at least made an attempt to think out of the box. Whether it has worked or not, that will be judged in the days ahead. But at least will you give them credit for thinking out of the box कि कुछ नया तो सोचा है which has led to this debate?
Mr. Kejriwal is a Madari and the public are monkey.
I object these kind of language. No, seriously, I really object these kind of language. He has a right to speak, but he should restrain himself. He should not be using
Mr.
these
Ashutosh,
language. No, I object.
I object to
I
your-
very strongly object.
And I
sir.
strongly object
no,
to your
I'm
nonsense.
not calling you Madari.
No,
I'm not calling
no,
you Madari.
I know what
no,
you
I'm
called
not
me.
calling. This
No,
is not,
I know.
This is not the way.
You be quiet.
No, sir.
I
no,
was
sir.
speaking.
I strongly object. this.
You keep on objecting.
This is I'm
Keep on
objectionable.
objecting.
You can't say something like
I
that.
will.
No,
Madari
sir.
hai. I will say Madari.
You
I
can't
will
say something like this.
तुम्हारे चिल्लाने से होगा?
No, you can't say
नहीं,
something
I know
like
you.
No, you cannot.
And you will not.
No, you cannot cast
okay,
us
one
for
minute.
it.
will not. I will
No, sir.
cast. I
Okay,
will
one
cast.
minute. Justice Kaju,
Okay.
Ashutosh.
I was
One minute,
talking. You have
please.
no right to interrupt.
Sir,
No.
1 minute.
You can't.
Sir,
you
1
can't
minute.
I will. I will.
No, sir.
I will.
Rajiv,
No,
I
I
request
will.
you.
I will.
I
Justice,
request you, please,
I
please
will.
delete
1
these
minute,
words.
1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute, one.
No,
Bhai
no, no.
Sahab. एक minute, एक minute.
I've been patiently listening to him.
जब ये बोल रहे थे,
I've
मैंने
been
interrupt नहीं
patiently
किया.
listening to him.
When he was talking,
He
I
has
was
been
not
abusive.
interrupting. I will.
Acha, okay,
I
bas.
will.
He has been abusive.
I will.
Bas.
I will.
Justice Kaju, may I request you? Ashutosh, may I request you? At the end of the day, this is a TV program where I think, Justice Kaju, I think using word like Madari, you may believe that he is a Madari, but I think our focus has been on the odd-even scheme. It is not on an individual whether he is Madari or not. That is for the voter to decide whether he is Madari and vote for him or not. My simple point.
He cannot take out his frustration on us.
1 minute.
I will.
1 minute.
I will. क्या
One
करोगे?
minute.
क्या करोगे? नहीं करेंगे.
I have been
अच्छा,
respectful.
करेंगे. नहीं, I don't respect you. No, I don't respect you.
I have
Okay.
been respectful to
I
you.
don't need your
You
respect.
better be respectful.
I will
Okay.
not.
You better be
I will
respectful.
not.
Janta बताए. No personal use of like, right? Okay. No personal.
I did not interrupt him when he was talking.
Be respectful.
I will not.
Okay.
क्या करोगे?
Sir, Justice Kaju, just a minute. I'm going to go right round the table because I think at the end of the day, we have dealt with a serious issue. And whether you believe someone is a Madari or stunt is entirely your view. But I think we want to know, I think the Janta wants to know what is the future in terms of the odd-even report and in terms of pollution.
Everybody has to, government, people, we have to, together
What is
we
your
have
next
to.
big solution?
So we have to take, like, personally, I'll request people, they have to maintain their vehicles. Then government, they have to take many, this like staggering work hours, simple solutions are there.
That's a
Then-
good solution, staggering work hours. How many of you are ready for that? Ki some people will work from 7 to 5, others will work from 10 to 7. It's a good idea? Okay, go ahead, yes.
Then staggering of work, there's then overloading of trucks, and then we have to control that because we have done studies and we have found that about 20% overloading, fuel consumption and pollution increases rapidly. Then we have to start planning for
Okay,
future
I-
alternative fuels apart from carbon-based fuel like
Okay.
electrical, hydrogen fuels and all. There are
Okay.
research going on.
You've given us various
Yeah.
solutions. Justice Kaju, you've been dismissive of this scheme. So I'm going to once again ask you, give me your grand idea as an alternative scheme. The grand big idea as an alternative scheme that you believe is better than this odd-even report.
I have already given it earlier. That
Metros.
Firstly, metro, you have to vastly increase it so that people don't need to travel by cars. As I said, in many places, High Court judges, ministers, they travel by the underground in
So
London.
incentivize people to travel by public transport.
But first
by
have the
improving
public
quality,
transport.
Improving the quality of public.
Vastly improve it. You have to go on a crash program, not by these stunts
So you're
and,
saying just
and,
focus.
and gimmicks.
You're saying just focus on enhancing the quality of public transport
Exactly,
and
exactly.
take it to another level.
Exactly.
I think we are all in agreement with that also. Ashutosh, word from you. What is it that the Aam Aadmi Party wants to do next? What is the next big rollout that you are going to do?
It's not a question of what is the best next big rollout. The point is the holistic approach has to be taken from discouraging polluting vehicles, from discouraging diesel cars and the diesel vehicles, improving vastly, I'm again using the word vastly, the public transport system, punishing those who are polluting through the construction things, because that's again very, very important, creating a
What
corridor.
about power plants? The power plants
We have
in and
already-
around Delhi which are old and which are polluting.
Rajdeep, well, on the first day when we announced one of the 13 measures, one measure was to shut down 2 thermal plants. Out of that government order, the Wadarpur thermal plant has cut down its pollution level. Now it is within the permissible limits. That's what the government has done. Then we have to create a corridor around Delhi. For that, we have to take every neighboring states in confidence, and also the Surface Transport Department, who has been very, very good in terms of cooperating us. So that
this will remain a part of your agenda. This
100%.
your anti-pollution drive will be part of your agenda over the next 4 years while you are in power. Anumita, let me ask you in conclusion as the expert in a way on this program. what do you believe is the next big idea for Delhi? Or indeed for all our cities. Let's look at all our cities. What would you suggest?
So the next big idea is to reduce dependence on personal vehicles by scaling up integrated public transport systems, have restraints on personal vehicles through parking restraints and tax measures. Along with that, crack down on other pollution sources, but dieselization will have to be curbed. Trucks will have to be acted on. And the other pollution sources means that develop, improve your waste management so that the trash is not burnt, have good dust control systems for your construction activities, crack down on power plants, stop all coal-based power plants in the NCR region and move to natural gas, and do your action just not for the city, but take a regional approach. The entire airshed of the entire region of national air quality, the national capital region will have to be acted on. Understand that today air pollution is actually about public health emergency, and we need to build a lot more public knowledge so that people can understand and we can fire up public opinion to support hard measures. Soft options are over for the city.
Soft options are over. We need hard measures. The country and indeed large parts of this country face a public health emergency. One last time I'm going to ask this audience so that the Aam Aadmi Party knows where they stand with their voters. How many people believe that this has been a success? How many people believe the odd-even scheme has been a success? Raise your hands. That's about 60-70% believe that it has been a success. So the Aam Aadmi Party, Ashutosh, you can smile at the end of the program.
It's not a question of smiling, it's a question of taking care of your own health.
Ultimately, it's about votes or it's about health?
Rajdeep, it has been a matter of vote, we wouldn't have implemented it. Because everybody advised that don't do it because middle class will be very angry.
And I'm sure Justice Karju believes it's only about votes, right?
It is only about votes. The Aam Aadmi Party is no different from other parties. It projected itself as a different party. It has been found there is nothing else. Those who were who lifted a finger of dissent against it, the co-founders were unceremoniously kicked out because Mr. Kejriwal is a dictator. He does not tolerate dissent, and whatever he wants must be done. All right, you people celebrate. You have got the majority. But tomorrow, I can assure you, today you are cheering. Tomorrow you will be jeering.
Okay, we'll see whether tomorrow we'll be jeering. For now, I think, for now at least, just a minute. For now, it appears at least the majority opinion seems to be in support of the odd-even scheme. But obviously, much more needs to be done to make our cities pollution-free. Thank you all very much for joining us. Give them a very big hand, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, viewers, for watching. Goodbye.
Okay, now we will shift tracks. We'll just move on from all the political news from the national capital, and let's just talk about a college in Delhi, SRCC. It's a noted college.
So, guys, do you know why he's Kukkada Kamalda? Because he's a Delhi boy.